Hi everybody, welcome to the LNROOM. I'm Tony Alden, and today we're going to end the last live session. I think it was the 10th one. So we are exactly, because it's just after the live. So I have the same setup. I didn't change nothing. So we were at that moment. So where I was, we find the way here to do a swap of those elements using HTMX. So when we click here, we've added the root listing com that do the full things here. And if we click on the account, this one takes all this to swap it again on that part of the thing. But what we can do is to use a template and define an account, a new template inside the existing index.html template that we have. So let's go, and I will go on as if it was a live. So I won't stop and restart to make it better. Just what we get, and I hope to do it. I will do it best I can. So main.go, we've just added that one listing com with just return foo, and it's not big things, but anyway, this is something that is working. And that we are going, I do a little bit of cleaning here, and you can see so far we have 52 lines of code with the rune at the top. Here we have a type accounts that we used here to construct the list of the array of the accounts that we send in the template index HTML. So what we want to do now is, because if we go back here and we run that, let's see what we have. So we go back, we have that. If we click here, as we've seen, we go to the index. What we are doing, clicking on the income events, is to use the library HTMX. So on click, we target that element. In that element, we want to swap the content that there is inside with what the server returned at the root listing com, and so far this is foo. When we click on account, what we do the same mechanism, but we return what there is at that root, and as there is nothing, it returns the root itself. And so if we do that, we're going to see the whole things. If we go back, we have foo, and because we are returning, so now we want to have something. And as I mentioned during the live, when we do that, we don't have a reload of the page. So we just do the request, and HTMX do the heavy lifting to swap those things out. So now, what we would like to do is in the same way. So here we have the accounts, and now we want to name that things. So this can be done like that. So if we call it block, and block, we have to pass the name, and we want to call it accounts, and I think that we pass it the element, and we want to name the whole the whole list. So this is that list. Now we have something with a name that we can use, as we've seen in there, not only with execute, but with execute template to just return that snippet. So now what we need to do, we go back to main.go, and what we we are going to do it, no. Let's do it right. The first thing, so this is, we are returning, we need the same data as we are going to refactor just after, but we are sending the same data, so the same accounts to that snippet. So we need all of those things that we are going to after change a little bit. The only thing that we change here, we no longer call it make home handler. So this is a closure on a function that http dot, it is there, dot handler function wants, and we don't call it make handler, but we call it account, because what we want, this is the account. So that thing doesn't change when we click. So when we click on account, we really want to do a run, to do a commando on bookkeeper list balances, and we want to have those data. So this is the data that we built before. So we built an array of accounts that we pass to execute, to the execute function of the template. But now we still pass account, but we want just to do this for the account, and we want to execute the template that is named account, and we can go back to this one. This is that one, okay, that one that takes up to this, and we pass it the data that we have to pass it, which is the array of accounts. So this should work. So the code is repeated, but anyway, because we are going to abstract away that part just after. But before, we need, now we want a root that we call accounts, because if we look back in the index, when we do a get in the HTMX, we do a get on the / accounts. So this is what we want to have here. Let's change that to that one, and now we hope that we are doing this right. So what is the error? Yes, so I don't read it because I know what the error that I've made. So this is a closure on an handler func that return an handler func type of function, and as we did before, we pass it a reference on the lnsocket and the rule. Remember, the rule is a global variable, but I like to think about it when we use it there as a function argument. It makes the thing maybe at some point more testable if we want to test something. So now, if we do there, we still have that root, and now we have, oh, this is giving us back that one. We have that. We have that. We are going to need to change that. But let's see something at the top, and maybe we want to accounts, and we see, okay, so this is what we return when we call that, and that things is put back here. Okay, so at the first time we have it, as we name the template, we can render it. We render it, and when we click here, HTMX do the swap, and we also have the swap with the event, but we didn't work on the event so far. So let's go back to accounts, and we have kind of way HTMX working. Also, this is working with those things, with lnsocket that working at the beginning. So we let that one. And now to clean up a little bit that part, that is really what we do is to construct an account, the array of accounts. So we can take that one and say, okay, I want a function, maybe that list, we call it list accounts. So this way we are going to to use it after. We put this, let me do that, okay. This and what we need, we pass it, we need the LN and the room. So that way we have that function, do the same things, but now maybe we return the account, and I shouldn't have removed that this way as if I was reckless, but anyway. So before we remove that part, and now we should be able to use that function that return an account, and to do that we can it is called list accounts. So let's copy that one. We go back here, list accounts, but we have to pass it LN. This is the thing that we have on the rule, and now this should continue to work. So we will find out too many return value, list accounts LNROOM, it's returned. So yes, so I did some, let's find out. So okay, normal. Yes, so we have to tell it the return type, which is a list of account. Is that what we want? Okay, it seems that this was the error. So that one, when we load, we don't care because we haven't used that function so far. But when we go there and now we do it back, we are using it. So we've done a little bit of that, but let's do it properly. So now we want to use that call in the make home handler. So this is the one for the root handler that take the array account on execute. And remember, we are using the whole index.html template. And we pass it the same type of data. We no longer need this because this was a copy and paste. And I will move that up so that it looks a little bit better. So that function take care of communicating with lnsocket and sending a command request bookkeeper list balances, and constructing the array that our template need in two cases. The first one is to construct the home, so we use the index.html template entirely. And in the second one, we use just the snippet accounts that we've constructed in index.html that we can see again here. Okay? So now, let's go back to the terminal. We do that. We run. So let's say that the refactoring is good. We are two things that we can do now. We might do the income events, but this is exactly the same as we did as we just did with accounts. So maybe we can let it for after. And I just want to show you how we can use hyperscript as a language to add just a selected class here and here when we click on it, and to show that those two libraries that we have at the top are really I think that those libraries have no dependencies. They're really small and they let you do things really. I really like them. So, and remember, as I said at the beginning of the live, and also the guy who wrote that library and the other that wrote write with him, there's a killer in memes. So now, what we can do, the underscore is the attribute that we can use to write some code with HTMX. And what we can do is as on click add, and we want to add a class selected. So this is one of the classes that come with the CSS that I wrote before and for that application. So on click add dot selected, and we want to add that that class to ourselves. Okay, because when we click on this, we want to be selected. So first we look at that, and then we are seeing that we want to be sure that we deselect this one when we select it. But let's just start with that and see if it does what I say it does. So we click on it, and we have the selected as this was done before. This part doesn't change. Income events, as we need to do some things to get this right. So let's continue. So maybe when we load the root, we are selected. Okay, because we are showing the list of icons, so we keep that one. Now, what we can do on that one when we click, and now first we are going to add it to the next one, to the income events, and select. And when I click on me and income events, I want to be selected too. Now, what we are going to have is two of those things selected. So now we are selected because we load, and this one is also selected, but that part changed. Okay, fine. Another way to write it. Now, when we click and let's go to the first one. Maybe we can do something like that. And click add selected to me, and I want to remove the class selected from some things. So now we want to target that ID. So we target that ID that way with the hash symbol and tab list income. We could do everything in one go, but I like to see the thing step by step, not only for you, but for me. This is the way I do those things. So now I will click on account, and this removes that one. We need now to take care of this one. So okay, maybe we can just take the same thing. So we center on click on income events. I want to add selected to say that I am selected, so that thing is selected. And now we want to target tab account with an S, I think. Yes, it is called with an S. And now we should have this working properly. So we load, we are selected. We go to this one. So no problems. It is called tab account. So add selected to me and remove selected from tab accounts. Okay, so let's run it again and see. Okay, I don't know why the first go didn't work, but it seems to work now. But it's better to not change nothing, because we really are saying what we mean. So we want to remove selected from tab account, this one when we click here, and also when we click here with HTMX. What we do is that we fill the inner part of that element with what the server returned at the root /list income. And the other way, when we are here, what we want to do, the same. When we click, we want to remove the selected from that the selected class from that element. And also we swap the inner part of that one tab or list account that we've seen previously with accounts. So if you remember what I've showed you at the beginning of the live 10, we are almost done. We are some works to do, but we are almost done. So now let's do the income events. So to the income events, so let's go back to main.go. So we have it here. We have defined an handler for the root list income with which only print foo, return foo. So this is not exactly what we want to do. We want to, as we did previously, to pass a closure on the type HTTP handler func, which is called, so we are going to call it income events, or maybe, I don't know if I call it that way, but income events handler. Now we do this, we change it here, and if we do, we let it as it is, we can see that what we do is exactly what we did before with the list accounts. We can run that one to see that we are not making a mistake, and if we do that, we swap with the accounts. This is not what we want to do. Now we want we want big happier list incomes. So let's it's a bit of copy and paste in that case, but anyway, we're going to do it to make it work properly. If we have that, so now this is no longer execute template that is name account. This is something like that. We have the list account and we can pass it the account. So we just revert back to the things that we refactor before, and we are going to change a little bit this part. So we are not going to no longer do a commando on this one, but a commando on list income, which lists the income events. But before we continue, let's see that at least this one is working. Yes, we return everything here because we are using, for the root list income, we are using the whole index HTML template. So now we need to define. So first, let's go to term and we CLI, we want to to have a field of list income events. Okay, so this is how it look like. So this is all the events that we've seen and that we want to list. We are not going to use all of them. Okay, so all the events will be listed, but we don't want all their field. We just want account, tag, credit MSAT and debit MSAT. Okay, so this is what we set at the beginning. So type, how can we call it? Just one income event struct. No, I didn't have to do that way. So what do we want? So this one we don't want. We don't want. And now we do that. We want them to be public. This one is going to be a string. Is this correct way to write it? Yes, string. The tag is also a string. Credit MSAT is int 64 because this is a conversion that we have for that we have from the library. Name of the from JSON. Okay, so maybe I would have been faster writing it directly without that modification. So we have a type that is an income event, and we are going to construct as we did before. Here, what we did was to construct an account. Now, this is no longer an account that we want to construct. We want to construct the income event array. So the first thing that maybe what we can do to see that we are having something working. So we changed it for income. So this is the request that the commando request that we do, and we are this one, yes, income event array. We don't want it as an array right now. Even if I think it works, but we don't use template. We want to see it working. So f print ln. We want to write that on the response writer, on the http.response writer. What do we want to write is the inc. Yes, so this is that one. But we are not going to have something if we take result on accounts. Still, we need the result because this is the JSON that we received from our node, thanks to the commando, and we want the income events. So, with that said, we should have something. We don't use the type, but we are going to use it right after. I just want to be sure that we get big appear list income, and this is swapped. No, not that one. This is swapped correctly here. Okay, so this is we are advancing our thing. So this is the list. The array, if you prefer, the array of the account that we want. But we see we don't want everything. We have DB MSAT, we have the currency, we don't care. The timestamp, we don't care for not in general, but for that example. So we go back And each time we do that, we don't have any reload, but we are hitting our node via commando and lnsocket. So let's go back here at that point, and now what we want to construct, this is the same thing. So we are going to let me go to the note. As we are going to have the template, it's not it doesn't make much sense to do it again. Templates are I think they are boring, so there are nothing to once we see what we want to do, we just have to do it. So let's look at it. It's better. So we've seen the range before, so maybe we can do that. We don't have to have those, we don't need those spaces. So the range is at least that we return a list, and that list is going to be swapped here thanks to HTMX. On that list, we have the class income events. In the first part, we are taking the account, and if we look at main, all the things that we are taking come from that one. Maybe let's see if we can put this one here, and maybe that way. Okay. So it's better. So this is the template that we use. We see we have the account here from each event that we've listed. This is that one. So we are going to build it in that array. In the class we have the class tag, but to have a distinct color for each tag, we also take those that variable here. That field here that we use to make a class tag that we used, and also the name of the tag to see what we have in the div. Then we have a little bit of conditional code that say if we are a credit, we want it to add the class credit. That way, this is the green that we've seen at the beginning, and we used the value with msat after. And we can see if this is not a credit, that means that this is a debit. So we take the debit msat here, and we put it a minus there. So this is a template that we are going to use here. So now the template is called list income, but we still have to construct the array. Before the array was called account. It's no longer the case. So the account is here. So we don't call it account, and don't remember how I called it when I work on it, but we can call it maybe income events. We don't have to be to make it short. This is no longer a slice on the account, but on income event. That one is okay. Except that we no longer want a string that we can print in our that we did before with fprintln. Now we want an array, and we loop on that array that is called inc.ev.art. And now there's another thing that we have to take care of, is the length of the income event array that we are building must be from that array that we just built the line before, which is inc.ev.r. Now we are no longer doing account stuff, but what they are called income events. So we want the tag, we want credit, and we want debit. Now we just have to change a little bit those things. So we see we are no longer on the it is called account so far. No, it's this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. No, this is not an account. This is, we can call it income event, like that. Okay, so we have it. Now, are they still there? Yes. So each time we have something, this is that object, that JSON object that we have in income events, and now we can fill here the root that are necessary. Before we fill the root, I'm seeing that this is not strings that we want, but these are ints that are int 64 that we have. So account, this one doesn't change. Let's see the tags. Where are the tags? We have this one. This is just one tag, so we can use it. So this should work. Next one. Those two one are not the one that we want. Credit MSAT. So yes, we have it directly. So okay, we can use that directly, and maybe it is called debit MSAT if I'm right. So let's see again what we do here. So that closure is used to build that HTTP handler func that we use in that is used for the root / incomes. And what we do in that one / list income, sorry, we do commando get, not a get, but a request. Then we get the result from a commando. We transform that in an array using JSON library. Then we initialize the array of income event, and we fill that array with the values that we get from those value. And at the end, we use the template list income, and with that template we pass it that array income events, and normally we should have something working correctly, but we never know. So we run that, do that again, and yep, we have something like that. So we are really almost done. There is just one little thing that I want to do with you, is to abbreviate those accounts that are channel ID to make the things better, that don't overflow at the right. So we see we are swapping those things, and each time we hit we hit the node via lnsocket on commando, and this is phenomenal. I absolutely love it. It's so it's really so great. So there is one thing that we need to change, is how we do the account, and as we are going to do it for the yes, I stop it for the account event, we want to do it there too. So to do that, maybe here. Okay, so func abbreviate, and what do we want to abbreviate? Abbreviate average account. So we call it like that. We take an account as a string, and we want to return some string with depending on the length of this. So if length of the account that we pass is greater than 15, let's say, we want to return a slice of that account. So maybe we want the first 3 like this, that we concatenate with a 3 dot, and we concatenate with arc of I think this is what I want to do. Length the account -3 till the end. This should be this code should be it seems to be correct, and if it's less, we don't care, we return that string. So we have those string average account. So maybe just to test it, it's not really a test, but let's go here, format, print ln, and what do we want to print? Average account, and maybe we can pass it that one to see if this is doing something that we want. Let's go. Too many arguments. Okay, so I think that I've done the same error. So we have to return a string, and now we have it working. So the first 3 and last 3, but so this is working, but I want last I want 6. So this those one, so this one is working. We remove that line, we go up, and each time we have each time we are how to say that, each time we have an account, we want to be sure that it is not too big. So we've done it with make incomes. Let's try that again to be sure that we haven't made a mistake at that point. So this is working with income events, because we've changed it. So now it's better. It's looking better. And just let's do that for that one, to have something coherent that does the same thing every time. So we passed, no. Okay, now we have that, and we go that one, do that, boom. So this is working as expected. Let's see if it works there. So we have the list of income events. When they are credit, they are in green. When they are debit, there are a minus sign before the number. We have the tag that have a specific color, and the name of the account that are abbreviated if they are too long. And this is super cool. We have the list of the accounts. So those one are 2 channel. This one is it's just the wallet, and each time we click here. So let's see what happened when we click to income events to go back and understand what we did. So when we click to income events in the index template, so this is the template, this is the beginning, and we click not in the first tab but in the second tab, which is that one. Okay, so income events. We see something that is we do an maybe let's talk about the class that is changed. This is underlined that we have with hyperscript. We can just write that. So on click, we add the selected class to the element, this element, and we remove the selected class from the previous tab, which is that one, tabs account ID. And the cool part is also that we use HTMX to swap out the elements. Let's make some this part. So we swapped all the things that are inside that with something that the server returned with the root list incomes. We target, so this is why we change that element, and we do a swap of everything that is inside something with that ID. And what the server returned to list income? Let's go back here and look for /list income. So we have that. So here we see that we defined make invoke event handler that transform into an handler func type of function that is responsible to construct the response of list income that we define it. So now we and at that handler we pass it our lnsocket and also the rule, and we can go look at that function, and this is the interesting part. So we have take lnsocket and a rule, and it returns a function of that type, and here this is the game of commando. So we do we pass it the rule to ln.rpc, and we say that we want to do a commando request with bookkeeper list income. So we get back in body if there is no errors. We get back that listing of all the income event, and then what we can do is just a little bit of data work to construct an array that has a specific form that will be understood by the template, because we are using a template name list incomes that we parse at that moment, and to that template, when we execute it, we write to the write response http.response writer, and we pass it the data, which is an array of the income events of type income event. And finally, let's just look at a list income template to understand what we have is that that list of first of income event that is first an account and the tag. So we see it, an account and the tag. We can see there that we have a proper tag name. This is why we have those different colors. On the right part, we do a selection, and we take only if it's credit, we added the class credit to have that grid, and if it's not, we add a minus in front of it. So I really hope that you enjoy this last part of the live done in LNROOM video. Give it a try to LNsocket, super cool, and and the commando is really amazing. I love it. So see you either in the next video or in the next live in 2 weeks.